Well, welcome back to another episode of Black as Black. Uh, Hit the subscribe button and ring the little bell so you get notified when we release another one of these fantastic conversations. Today, I've got a guest on by the name of Dave Ilberry. Dave Ilberry, how are you doing?
Doing great, Rich. How you doing, buddy?
Winding down the weekend, getting ready for another week at the old grindstone mill.
I feel that. I feel that.
Nah, it ain't too bad. I almost consider myself partially retired. I only put in 24 hours a week at the office, and then I put in a few hours here at home.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a relaxing type thing. I don't do anything anymore but estimating, so I don't have to run projects. I don't have to order material. I don't have to keep track of people or not. Yeah.
Well, you're down in Florida, so enjoy.
Yeah, it's kind of a coasting job now. So anyway, let's get started in this. First thing I want to know is where are you from? Are you from Mount Vernon originally, or?
Originally from Woodlawn, lived in Mount Vernon most of my life, though. Grew up around that area, so yeah. I mean, of course, worked for you for a while there at Initech, and
Yep.
unfortunately
In
moved on there, and
Infinite. You worked over at Infinite, didn't you?
nope, never worked at
No,
Infinite.
didn't.
No.
Okay. I was thinking you did. Where are you now? I know you're in Georgia somewhere, Savannah area or something like that.
Yeah, I'm near Savannah. I work for it's a company called Univar Solutions. We're a hazardous waste material handling company. Um, Setting up the new Hyundai plant at Ellabelle right now. We just got that contract. So myself and one of my coworkers is training the new site manager there now.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Um, so that was my next question. What are you doing where you're at now? So got that answered right off the top. I want to dig back a little bit into your mind. And first question is what brand of music do you prefer?
I listen to a little bit of everything. I even listen to a little country. Seen a lot of bands, country rock. Favorite Stevie Ray Vaughan, always will be. Favorite rock band Shinedown. Seen them 4 times now.
All
Ready to
right.
go see them again. Just fantastic band. Getting more into Papa Roach now.
Right.
Always liked them, but after I saw them with Shinedown last year in Atlanta, they were phenomenal.
Right.
Great show. But yeah, I like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's a station down here called Boss Hog Radio, and it's some older guys like my age that run
Hmm.
the thing. And I think one of their slogan is "No rap, no crap" or something like that. But they they play a lot of variety. I mean, they take you back to some of the like 80s disco and 70s and 60s and then they play pretty current stuff. But um, yeah, they bounce around everywhere, so you never know. I flip them on every once in a while driving to work, and you never know what song you're going to hear next, what genre is going to come from, or whatever.
Right.
So it's interesting. You don't get bored. Same vein of music all day long or whatever. But so I know you're about 10 years younger than me, but what at some point there was something that you can delve back into and remember, like the first songs or whatever that you recall as from your childhood, when music first started sticking in your head.
Um, Honestly, the song that has always stuck in my head, my older sister had the album. Um, David Essex, Seasons in the Sun, has just always really stuck in my memory, more than anything actually. Um, but I grew up. I'm 57. I'm the next to the youngest out of 10 children, so uh, big variety. My parents, of
Right.
course, they were the old school country music: Merle, Waylon, Johnny Cash.
George, George.
Oh, absolutely, Possum.
Yeah, the possum.
um, Johnny Horton, big Johnny Horton fan. Um, of course, mom was the Elvis fanatic, just cliche for a woman of that age. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm a huge Elvis fan. Love his music.
Yeah. Yeah. I go back to that stuff every once in a while, get in that mood, and I do a lot of stuff off the YouTube anymore, where I sit in here and watch the videos and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, if I'm out in the yard, of course, I just got my headset on. But anyway, what about TV shows back from your childhood? What was on hot and popular in your growing up days?
Oh boy, Dad always loved Hawaii Five O, Columbo, Rockford Files, of course, Mannix. Of course, the
Mannix.
cars. Yeah, Mannix. I love the cars that were on Mannix.
Yeah.
He was a Mopar guy, so he always had the Challengers and things of that nature on there. Kojak, you know,
Kojak, yeah, Night Stalker.
Night Stalker. Oh Lord, yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Darren McGavin always reminded me of my dad. Actually, him and Robert Duvall always remind me of Dad.
right.
Kind of cranky old man,
Gotcha. I
but
got you. Yeah, I mean, I remember all those shows. I probably go back a little further. I remember Gentle Ben and Flipper and
mhm.
uh, what was that? Sea Chase, I think it was called. Of course, the big one. I remember right after school. I think it came on at 3:30 or something. Dark Shadows. It was a soap
Yeah.
opera, but it was a little vampirish, and so yeah, we used to try to beat it home and watch the next episode of Dark Shadows. Barnabas Collins.
Myself, I'm a sitcom guy, so I always loved All in the Family, Sanford and Son.
Yeah,
Um, what was
good
the other
good
one?
times.
Oh gosh, Good
Yeah,
Times. Yes,
yeah,
that was a great one. Yeah, so yeah, I like music, a little bit of everything.
right, right. Yeah, let's see here. Get over here, see my notes. Okay, well, hobbies. What kind of hobbies are you? Do you have any hobbies?
Well, whenever I worked for you, my biggest hobby was using the plasma table after hours and making signs and stuff, and
All right.
I really enjoy that. Working for you, I kind of grew love working with metal. But no, lately I don't really have time because I travel a lot for work. Not
Let's
so
see.
much I'm not right now, but normally I'm either flying or driving somewhere for work, so I don't really have time. By the time I come back home, I've got to spend the weekend catching up on things, so I don't really have an area to work in the garage or anything. So kind of
Okay.
boring life these days.
I thought your answer would be cooking.
Well, cooking, yeah, I guess that's a hobby. I guess I really never looked at it that way, just because it's
Well,
I just cook
it's
in my
yeah, it's a necessity, but it could also be a hobby if you enjoy it enough, I guess.
well, yeah, and you're actually right, yeah, because I never really, like I said, I never really look at it that way. But I've got a music group on page on Facebook, in your ear hole, and then I've got a food group as well. I believe you're in that one. Uh, Good food with great friends, and I my thing nowadays is coming up with healthy recipes because I'm diabetic. I've got high blood pressure, so
Right.
I try to take care of myself. Although I've lapsed a little bit lately
Okay.
and put a few pounds back on, so I'm getting back on track with that. So
All right.
um, yeah, I guess that would be my hobby is kind of researching and finding healthier alternatives to foods that I love.
Right. Right. Yeah. The wife kind of got us. We've experimented with different, diets, I guess, but right now she's leaning towards the pescatarian, so kind of a Mediterranean, but
Hmm.
very little red meat very little,
Yeah.
uh, shellfish, fish, little chicken now and then and stuff, and then, a lot of vegetables and salads and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So I
Yeah,
guess
I do a
that's
lot. I have and I haven't even gotten to use it like yet, really, but the Mediterranean Refresh book,
mhm,
cookbook, a lot of fantastic recipes in there. And then I do a lot of research online, of course. But yeah, I do a lot of chicken, a lot of shrimp, love shrimp.
right.
So, um, but yeah, and then I don't do a whole lot of red meat anymore. Do a little pork every now and then. But yeah, so try to stay healthy for an old man.
Right, right, exactly. All right, well, let's get into some controversial topics now. First thing I want to ask you about is, have you heard of adrenochrome in that issue?
What is it? I'm sorry.
Adrenochrome, adrenochrome,
That one
AD.
I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with.
Well, I wasn't either until a good friend of mine, Mike Herzing, brought it up and asked me what my take on it was. And I really, the word I didn't recognize. I hadn't heard that phrase or term. So I said, well, I don't know. I said, I have to do a little research to get back to you.
Right.
But it's another conspiracy theory where that the Hollywood elite and the blood draining from the small children out of the adrenal gland.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I have heard of that. Um, I, you know, I don't, I've not seen any conclusive proof that it's really happening. But it's like it makes you kind of wonder though, don't it? Because so many conspiracy theories have come to fruition that they're
Yeah,
actually, they've actually happened.
I
So,
my take on it after doing a little research was about the same as your response. There's nothing really conclusive out there. Uh, I wouldn't be shocked if it was true. Uh, but the only thing that really comes to mind, at least in my opinion, is it's so easily synthesized. So
mhm.
why would they go to the trouble or take the risk of doing it that way, taking it directly from an adrenal gland of a scared child? I mean, the
Right.
claim is that they scare the hell out of these kids and then they're draining off the adrenaline.
Exactly.
And
That yeah. Um, but I mean, it makes you things make you wonder. Once you hear stuff like this, it kind of makes you kind of think back because you got all these young kids who run away in the Hollywood area and then disappear.
disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's show after show on TV about the lost kids of Hollywood. I believe is one of them is called that I've seen. Um, so I wouldn't put anything past Hollywood, but that's one that I've kind of put in the back of my mind simply because I've not seen anything or heard anything, and you would think that something that insane
Right.
would something would have come out about it long before now.
Well, the thing is, we all know that the media does whatever they want. And if they don't want to tell you about it, they don't.
You're exactly
And
right.
so, in this day and age, it's kind of hard to um, believe, well, anything you hear or most of what you see now. With the deep fakes and all that, you just don't know
Yes.
what you're. So I always try to do my due diligence and dig down to the very bottom and try to get past all that other crap that's out there floating around. But I did read up on it a little bit, and I think what started the whole thing off was, as far as in popularity, was the Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Vegas. He talks about
Hmm.
uh, doing the adrenal chrome, and I think that kind of regurgitated it, and then from there, I don't know. No proof that it's actually happening, but there's no proof that it's not. So I don't know.
Exactly.
You
That's
know,
a perfect way to put it.
yeah,
And your one of your comments that you can't really believe anything anymore. What kind of brings me to the issue of AI. I I hate AI because now it's coming to the point now where hell you can't believe anything you hear on the internet anymore because you don't know if it's true or not. I've watched so many videos that supposedly this is happening. This somebody saying this or that on YouTube, but you watch their mouths and it's not even close to what the words are being said.
right.
Um,
Right. And
so,
there's some of the what would you say, the inclination of the way it's spoken that doesn't match up, it's kind of a
exactly.
little bit odd.
Yes.
But
So,
yeah, and that AI is definitely it's probably a great thing in some instances. I know um I introduced my wife to that Chat GPT or whatever it is, the
mhm,
Google version that's been out for a while. And she does silversmithing. She makes turquoise rings and stuff, and necklaces and
mhm.
earrings and all that kind of stuff with turquoise.
Oh,
And
cool.
so she's got an Etsy storefront that she
Hmm.
does all of her selling on. And so part of that is, when you put a piece up there, you have to have a description. And I showed her how to use the chat, and it'll write, she can put in a few of the keywords and stuff, and it'll write this just awesome description that she can just paste in.
Wow.
So, that's the good part of it. You
Uh,
can,
everything's got its pros and cons, I guess. But this, I'm more concerned about the cons of it, because
right,
what you got, there's so much crazy stuff going on right now in politics and just the world in general
right.
that you don't. This can be a very, very dangerous tool.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh,
Elon
in,
Musk, he's pretty much summed it up. He's,
yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm a big Elon fan.
yeah, I
Um,
anyway, that was one I wanted to a talking point to see what your take on it was. So you're pretty much in line with myself. There's just not enough out there for me to make a decision in my mind one way or the other.
yeah,
So
but keep an eye on it though. Keep an eye on
yeah.
it because you never know.
Oh, I
Like I
know.
said, a lot of things have been a lot of crazy claims have been brought up that everybody's like that's the most craziest thing I've ever heard, and then he's like, oh, we got proof of this now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I figure somebody wouldn't make the claim if they didn't know something. Sometimes,
Right. Right. Well, there's several articles on there on the internet that you can read both pros and cons of the uh, the claim or whatever where it's going on. It goes back to I guess back to Hitler and or is it the Jews? I don't remember now, but I know it goes back in history a ways, back into the 30s, 40s, something like that, where this was supposed to have first started. And at that time, of course, they weren't able to synthesize it, so could have the bloodletting thing could have been very real. But thinking about it today, it's like if you can make it and buy it on the open market, why would you want to take the risk?
And you bringing up Hitler, that I mean brings a good point because it very well could have been him because I know he done a lot of testing with twins, and the idea I believe with that was the idea of cloning, if I recall, trying to make the ultimate soldier.
Right.
So I don't know, it might have been something he was on to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hell, we know for a fact that he invented marching powder. Keep them soldiers going 24/7.
Yeah,
Lord. Well, let's
yeah, it's
move into another topic here. The one I labeled on my note sheet over here is politics and lunatics.
I love that one. I love
Yeah,
that. Needs to be a Facebook page
yeah, politics and lunatics.
for real
Anyway, I
and bad
mean,
with fun.
first item I had up here was this Project 2025 thing that Kamala Harris keeps lying about, saying that
Yeah,
Trump, it's his platform. He's all about it, even though it's been debunked over and over and over. But she still keeps doing it. She does it on a lot of the things she talks about. They make these
yes,
calls, and it's right now. I feel like that the Democrats, they feel so well protected by mainstream media that their philosophy has become, we're just going to lie, 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 lie. And if we lie long enough, people will believe it. And nobody's busting them on it. They do these fake interviews and
Hmm.
You know, they just nobody goes back and slaps them with the, well, what about this? You know, so
You know, the sad thing about it is you're 100% right, because even Obama, there's a clip of him out there that says, you know, if you repeat it over and over enough, then it becomes the truth.
right,
And
becomes the reality. Yeah,
yeah, he's absolutely been the biggest propagandist for that.
right.
He, you know, it's what's sad is how many people are too. I don't know if lazy is the right word. Yeah, they're too. Just people are just too lazy to do their own research and see. And sad thing about Democrats is the fact that you can show them in black and white
Yeah,
or video footage, and they're going to say, "Oh, that was manipulated. You're
yep,
uneducated. You don't know what you're talking about." You know, we got a buddy, don't we, that loves to
yeah,
use some buzzwords,
yeah,
and
yeah.
loves use. I would love to have him on here right now.
I can't. He won't even respond. I've asked him several times, and he won't even respond to that. I've asked the question. You know, at one
Yeah.
point in a, I think it was in uh, uh, private message or whatever, PM, DM, whatever they're called. Um,
Hmm.
there was, I forget who all was involved in it, but he came in. He was asking why. I think it was Dr. Drake. Um, said something about, you know, he should be on here. And he came back and said he had a speech impediment. He was dealing with throat cancer or something of that nature.
Hmm.
And so that was it. That was an excuse a few months ago, but I don't know any more than what he said there. But I know that he won't come on here.
No, no,
He won't come on here.
definitely not with the two of us.
Yeah, he's a keyboard warrior.
You know, I don't know the man, honestly. I had seen him comment so many times on your stuff, and
Right.
using throwing those buzzwords out there. I just finally couldn't. I couldn't keep quiet anymore.
Right. Well,
And
that's actually the fun part of it, you know, is he's so easily triggered. Uh,
yes,
you know, you just throw a little thing out there and boy, he's got to jump right on it. So for me,
yeah.
that's a lot of fun. I get a kick out of it. And
Oh, absolutely.
sit back and
He's
laugh.
never, yeah, he's never pissed me off one time. I always sit back and laugh at his stuff that he says, because it's literally regurgitated from MSM. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's the same crap. You know, oh, you should watch. You know, you should stop watching Fox News and watch CNN. Are you kidding me?
Or
I
yeah,
don't even watch
professional
Fox
news.
News.
He
Yeah,
calls it professional news. I'm like,
exactly.
yeah, your professional news is all those out there that's ultimately owned by BlackRock or Vanguard. You know,
Yes.
ABC, NBC, CBS, Disney, CNN, all, you know, the major stockholders. You go right online and look it up. And
Oh
they
yeah.
hold controlling interest in almost every one of the mainstream media outlets.
And
So whatever they want it to be, that's what it be.
exactly. And they own our politicians too. They
Oh
own
yeah.
they own our medical, they own our politicians, they own our legal, they own everything, man.
Yep. Yep.
But
They're very deep into the fabric of our country and our democracy and government, the whole bit. So,
yes. It, you
uh,
know,
go ahead.
I was going to say that, you know, that we this whole the society, they're always talking about racism and sexism and xenophobia and um what the list goes on. You know, talking about the right, of course.
Hmm.
Uh and this is all crap put out by the government to keep us fighting with each other, because it's the old divide and conquer thing. If they
Exactly.
can fight us, they can beat the shit out of us every day, every 4 years, you know,
Yep.
like they did in 2020.
Right.
Um, but we're a classist society more than anything. I mean, we're based on economy. We're not based on anything else, our religion or anything else. We are
Right.
based on economy. If you make under, let's say, $100,000, I mean, you're low class in
Right.
the government size, you know, in these elitist size.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, we're down here fighting with each other over the silliest crap, You know, I've got gay people in my family. I've got blacks in my family. I've got Filipinos in my family.
Hmm.
I don't give a shit what you are. Treat me right, and I'll treat you right. But
Exactly. Exactly.
um, it's just gotten so out of hand that I've lost lifelong friends over politics.
Yeah, I know, and that's something. Yeah, I mean, and I say every once in a while on when I make posts, say, look, this, you know, got opinions one way or the other, but it doesn't mean that I hate you. I
Exactly.
just disagree with you. Uh, Back to Kamala, the what can be unburdened by what has been. What's your what's your take on that? Because she uses it a lot.
Oh my gosh. They always talk about her word salad. She don't have word salad. She has verbal diarrhea. She's just
Yeah,
talking shit all the time.
yeah.
But that thing right there, I've seen it. I watched a video a couple of weeks ago of her, how many different times she's used that. And I mean it's countless. I couldn't even tell you. And I watched one this afternoon. It was something about this is a story of something something something, and I can't even keep up with what she says. She's worse than Biden.
Oh
She's
yeah,
worse
yeah.
than listening to him talk. At least he's got a reason, for he's senile or dementia or whatever they
They
want to call it.
Right. They use the term word salad. I think word spaghetti might be better. She can say so many words and string them together, and when she's done, A, the question was not answered, and B, I don't know what the hell she was talking about.
Did you see the movie Billy Madison?
Uh, yeah, it's an older
Adam
movie, right?
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
he got back to school, then the moderator at his debate, where that scene is perfect for every time that woman talks.
Right.
It's the whole I at no point did anything you say make sense, yada yada. I can't remember the speech now, but it was hilarious, and somebody actually put that together in a video, um, for on one of her speeches, and I was just dying laughing watching it. But it's so fitting for her. She
Right.
never, like you said, she strings 1,000 words together and never comes up with one coherent thought.
Doesn't even make a point. When it's all said
No,
and done, it's like, okay. Whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
even
my
though,
yeah, my thing on the her catchphrase, I can see what can be unburdened by what has been. That's a straight Marxist quote,
yes,
not
I,
word
I
for
was,
word, but the meaning is exactly. And she says she was raised in a middle class family. Well, I don't know that, if your dad was a professor and your mom was high up in the biomedical field, if that would be considered a middle class family or not, especially back a few years when she would have been raised up as a middle class child.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking the same thing when I first heard that. But yeah, that you bringing that point up about that being a Marxist statement. My sister actually lives down in Tampa, and I'm sure you might have seen her comments on some of my stuff. Deb Russo, but
Yeah,
she would
maybe.
make a fantastic guest. She is so up on politics and all this stuff. But she posted that here a week or two ago, that was a Marxist statement, and she put the actual comment on there verbatim.
Right.
Um, so, and I read it, and I listened. I went back and listened to one of Kamala's talks about the burden by the or whatever it is, and I'm like, holy crap! And then I remembered her dad was a Marxist professor and all this, so
Yeah. Yeah.
like, wow. And people are just eating. Okay, so sorry, I got kind of my thoughts process kind of went nuts for a second,
Right.
but so, so we've got this woman now who has gained so much popularity since she became the nominee, I guess.
Got slotted in because she never won a vote. Didn't
Exactly. She
No
was
vote.
since let's call it the installation.
Yeah, yeah,
But 4 years ago, she couldn't have gotten a vote to be a dog catcher. Now
Right.
she's the second coming of Christ. But it's the whole thing is not. It's kind of like the whole Biden thing. They're not Kamala supporters. They're Trump haters. That's all it is. But they're
That's
willing to
exactly right.
sacrifice. Yeah, they're willing to sacrifice all of us in our country for their hatred. But they want to talk about how they're the party of tolerance and peace and all of this
Yeah.
garbage.
It makes no sense, but timer shows we got a few minutes left here. I wanted to hit one other thing before we run out of time, as the assassination attempts. A lot of weirdness going on with that. Go back to Butler. Um, it seems like there was an intentional security gap that went on at that particular event. It just it doesn't pass the smell test, as they would say.
Exactly.
They were very quick to get that body out of there, uh, get it buried or yeah, incinerated. I think uh,
Wow.
but and now the FBI is stonewalling and won't turn over any of their investigative information. So, it makes you wonder, well, it should be a clean, simple thing. Guy snuck in, got on the roof, took a couple of shots, we took him out. But when they start cloaking it in secrecy, it
Yes.
just makes you wonder more and more, what are they hiding? What are they covering up this time?
Yeah, and the guy apparently apparently both of them, from what I understand, were in a BlackRock commercial.
Yeah, yes.
Um, um, the first one, the younger kid that done it.
Hmm.
I mean, that he was seen and reported to the Secret Service walking around with a rifle.
Yeah,
Seen getting up on the roof, told them that he was getting up on the roof, and they done nothing about it.
right.
The second guy, from what I gather, what I've seen in reports or comments or whatever, is that this guy had $300 in his checking account, but he gets over here from Hawaii to make an assassination attempt. I
Yeah.
mean, I've had less than $300. I've had a little bit more than $300 in my account before, and hell, I'm not getting a plane ticket to or from Hawaii.
No, no.
So
And again, it goes back to, okay, they already knew that that side of the course was regularly intruded by paparazzi.
mm-hmm.
And, so they knew that was a very vulnerable spot. But was there anybody over there watching it? No, not to one hole ahead of the president.
Right.
Um, and there was no schedule that day for him to golf. It was an instantaneous thought that crossed his mind. So was it just a fluke that that guy was going to lay there for a couple of weeks if he had to, but to take that shot? Or did somebody say, hey, he's golfing today?
Exactly. That's exactly the point I was going to make. Um, Again, kind of one of those things where we don't have the proof right now, but at some point it's going to come out.
Yeah,
It may take the years it did for JFK, but at some point it's going to come out.
right,
Uh,
right.
so I don't know. But I my biggest question is why are people on the left not being charged? Because we've got people saying get up in their faces, let them know they're not welcome.
Right.
I want to take him out back behind the woodshed
Yeah.
and beat the hell out of him. I want to blow up the White House. Madonna said that. Yeah, Kathy
Yeah.
Griffin holding
Yeah. Severed
a
head.
false severed head of his,
Right.
and then they want to talk about how he's the danger and the
Right.
threat to our country.
Right.
There were no wars whenever he was in office. We had
Well,
the most peace in the world
yeah.
that we ever have. But
Head,
he's the most dangerous threat.
right. Running out of time quick here. So one more point was Elon Musk uh, is now being investigated. You probably already know this,
Yeah,
but on his tweet about how come there's no assassination attempts against Kamala or Joe. And
exactly.
oh, boom. Now come on. It's just so obvious. So obvious.
it is so obvious, but it they've got such control, and I don't know how the left has gotten so much control, but they own 2/3 of the Republicans,
Right.
that are anti-Trump.
Yep.
Of course, now there are a lot of them that were anti-Trump. Like Vance, for instance.
Yep.
Still haven't made up my mind on JD Vance yet.
Yep.
I'm not sure about him. I don't know enough about him, but I don't know. He just doesn't sit with me right.
Not,
Um,
yeah. Listen, we're about out of time. We'll have to do this again for sure. I want to thank you for coming on and taking time out of your schedule to have a sit down with me and indulge my little hobby here.
Hey,
Uh,
I actually had a great time. Thank you for having me on. Never done anything like this, but I would love to do it again and
sure.
get more prepared for you this time.
Yeah, well, I
Maybe get
wanted to make this
together.
more of a kind of a introductory type thing for you, and so it's what I think I got 29 subscribers or something like that.
Hey,
But to
we'll try to
introduce you
build
to them. But anyway, I'll have this thing up and ready, probably not get it all done tonight because it takes forever to convert the video and upload it to
it.
YouTube and all that. And then I do all the post editing, then put stuff in, take stuff out, whatever. But I will send you a link to it as soon as I do have it up, so you'll be able to watch it and share the heck out of it. Share
Oh,
it to all your
absolutely.
friends and get it around. But the bottom line is, it's time for everybody that believes the left is gone too far and needs to be removed at all levels, executive, Senate, House, and get this thing under control. It's time for us to open our mouths. That's why I just post that crap all day long, because it's like, hey,
Oh, yes.
ain't nobody else doing it. Media wise.
Well, you see what I post, so we're right there in line, buddy.
All right. All right. I'm going to run out of time here, so I'm going to say goodbye and enjoy your evening. And we'll talk to you soon, Dave. Thank you.
All right, Rich, you as well. You have a good night.
You too.